Right. Thank you. The COVID itself is a topic that I did for my second talk show. It's quite very interesting. So, of course, at the end of the day, like you said, we have to come together and think of the greater good. I think the humanism, agree on this thing. So the point is, like I said, I don't want to go into that. I'll come back later in the sense that, that because. Of course, you see that people dying, stuff like that. Okay, I'll go back into that. I just want to answer some of the question here. I think this one is quite interesting, but it's quite relevant. I think this one is supposed to be in the first part. By Ivan Karismanto Halim, do you ever felt a longing for spirituality while practicing atheism? And how to mitigate that in atheism? Is there any ritual or routine such as meditation or pray? I think your debate with, Samuel also, I think you are, is it deprivation? You're suffering somehow of fellowship, deprived from that. Do you have that longing for, belong to, certain routines, stuff like that?
You want Shaun to go first, right?
Yeah, Shaun.
No, I actually, right, when I was younger, my mother forced me to wake up early in the morning just to go and pray, do the same thing as her. Just like I said, stand in front of I forgot what it's called, right, the podium thingy, the statue, and then you pray. You do that for like half an hour or something like that every single morning before go to school. I was forced to kind of things, but I don't have a habit out of it. I just...
so, the question, you don't miss it?
Yeah, I don't miss it.
Something that you miss. You belong to a certain group and stuff like that.
But,
certain things, yeah.
But with that saying, I personally don't miss it. I know some people do miss it, and some people do find a difficulty to adapt to a life after converting to being atheist. I know there are people like that. Okay. So I sympathize with them. That's about it.
You? Really?
I get my spiritual experiences from watching SpaceX successfully test launch their rockets into space. I get my spiritual experiences watching Cosmos, the latest. Oh, by the way, just a quick promo. So it's nothing to do with us, but go watch Cosmos. Possible Worlds season 2 of the recent Cosmos is really good. It's a way of saying that I get my feeling of spiritual fulfillment by watching humanity grow, in a way. I don't know whether it sounds ridiculous to some people, but I can go into tears watching Possible Worlds. Especially the last episode of Possible Worlds is just one of the most beautiful lines ever written in the English.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Really trying to be funny, promoting his film.
No. I'm not joking. I'm completely not joking.
No. I'm just joking. I'm joking. No, not really. It's okay. No, really, it's okay. Don't take it seriously, man. Okay. I got your point. I think we go probably a little bit of of being an atheist. Probably you want to elaborate your 4 points. I'll go with Shaun first. Why you don't believe in a God? Shaun.
Burden of proof lies on the belief. The one who believe in it, right? Who believe in God. So it's basically a very simple answer would be. Simple scenario would be. I ask back your question. Why you don't believe in Santa Claus, right? Or why do you don't believe in fairy tale? Whatever fairy tale you have, right? So you don't say that you don't believe in that because you found a proof, because you went to North Pole and there's no Santa house or anything like that. Right?
I got your point. Okay, second point.
Yeah. You want 2 points?
All 3 points. Billy gave me 4. From his video, I've jotted down.
Wow. Don't believe in a God. That's the basic out of it. Maybe you can say that I don't sense the spiritual thingy that people sense or something like that. That's also maybe one of it. And mainly it's just I don't find the proof of God. That's about it.
Okay.
I can't think about much now.
All right. Willie, you want to help your little brother?
So you want to go through the 4 points thing, is it?
I don't know. If you have more, I don't know. That's basically 3 years ago. Probably now you have an improved point for me.
Because those things are so academic, So I guess one of them is like basically the burden of proof thing,
Yeah.
So just to clarify that definition of atheism, because the burden of proof lies also in the definition. When people see atheists, right, I think most people think of it as people who actively deny God, as in the statement they would say is, I don't believe God can possibly exist, to put it as direct as possible. That's not what atheists are, right? Atheists are basically, I don't believe in God, that's it. Reason being, well, I don't have any evidence. So that's basically that burden of proof thing that Shaun was talking about. So atheists generally may have been looking even, right? Like myself, I definitely was looking for years. I don't see any evidence of it, therefore I don't believe. It's as simple as that. The other aspects of it is like why, based on what we see, right, in existence and whatnot. One of the problems that you mentioned in the video earlier was essentially inconsistent revelation. So that would be personally my strongest reason. I actually actively sought it out, and there's so much revelation, right? If they're all real, then it's a real mess to sort through. Even within Christianity itself, there's so many different differences of opinion. If you accept Abrahamic religion, you have Judaism, you have Islam, and then you have Christianity, right? And then not to mention there are other religions apart from that. So that's the other part of it. Everybody is very confident that they are in the right religion because they happen to be in the right place. I mean, the vast majority of religious people happen to be in their specific religion because of parents, access to a local church or mosque or whatever it is, right? So what if you've never heard of it, right? Then what happens? But I know the answer to that. I know some Christians or whatnot will come and tell me, oh, actually, here in the Bible, I know. But if you are trying to figure out the right religion amongst all these things, is it the Bible or the Torah, which is correct or whatever it is, it's still a major problem, right? If God exists, I feel that the file should have been, the Bible should have arrived in a hard disk.
Okay, really, I got that point. Now is burden of proof. What is inconsistent revelation? Probably Shaun already at the fourth point. Basically, you don't see the need of God in that sense. I mean, basically, I've watched the video. It said 1 and 4 is basically the same. The third one, you still view that point, the incompetent operation?
So I mean, if you look at existence, it doesn't seem to support the existence of a God. Well, the fact that the universe is billions of years old and stuff like that. If I wrote this a long story for the old debate that I had with Samuel, and I think that is still the best one. It's essentially the universe is so old, the existence have been around for so long, and there's so much of it, and yet we expect that God created all these things just to put a bunch of people on a rock, and then let 99% of all the species that have ever existed just die out, but yet make a boat to save like 1%, maybe less, of the species that he has created. There's a lot of things about existence which does not fit in with an intelligent creator, the idea of an intelligent creator. Whereas the natural explanations that we have for all these things makes a lot more sense. So that's
all right. Okay, thank you. I think basically there is no new point. Basically, that's all the 4 points that you shared the last time. But now you're talking to a Muslim. I think our viewpoint is a little bit different in that sense. If I can just ask you, what evidence that, I think the last time when I met you 3 years ago, I think we kind of agree that you cannot prove there is no God, right?
Yeah,
you cannot prove there is no God. And according to you, we also cannot prove there is a God. Correct, no? In that sense.
You guys obviously think you can prove the existence of God, right? I mean,
no. Wait. Don't jump into that. we go one by one. Okay. In our belief is that in the Quran, actually there is a verse in. This is how we take a point. So that you up to you to disagree or not. I mean, God asks, can you come from nothing? Humul Khalikun, or are you the creator? That's basically chapter 52 verses 35 and 36. You look at the universe and stuff like that. whether can they come, who made them? And it continues like Bala Yukinum. Basically, people don't know. I think that's basically most atheist standpoint. They just don't know what how this thing can come about from nothing. Can something come up from nothing, or can even that there is this guy, a friend of mine who shared this. He got a clock you put in a box and you shake it. How many times, million times, billions times? Can you think that by shaking that will come into a very nice piece of clock again? So the chances are no. So in Islamic point of view, it's like we reject all kind of God. So the God that to our belief is the one that created us. We believe that God exists is because we exist. Everything exists. So we cannot come from nothing. So the burden of proof to me, if they claim Santa Claus is a God, or that thing is a God, is the moon is a God, the sun is a God, or anything else a God, they have proof that is a God. Can they create something? So but the burden of proof is clearly go back to you. Can you prove there is no God, or can you prove that is a God?
You can't shift the burden of proof using that method. You can assign any number of first cause kind of things. Just because you don't know what the first cause is doesn't mean that that first cause must be
okay. I know. We go into that, of course. One, if you don't have any answers, at least we have answers that the one that created must be uncreated. Otherwise, nothing can be created. I think probably you have watched many YouTube, the debates or whatnot,
Why must that be so? If you want to use that, you have to first answer the question, why cannot it just be an infinite regress?
Okay, no. The thing is, it's not finished there. No. One is the concept of what are the more probability of there is a God or no God. That is one. Of course, the next logical thing is which God. There are 10,000 God, there are many denominations, 60,000, all claim to be true, like you say, inconsistent regulation or not.
We don't have to go to even which God, but even at the fact that a God must have caused it, right?
Yeah.
Why does it have to be a God that doesn't have a cause, That's so I mean, you can look at Wikipedia lah. This is a lot of I don't know why a lot of religious people think that the first cause argument is like a really strong argument to make the thing, but it's just philosophy. It's just
I know, really. That's why in this sense I cannot say that you are wrong. I cannot say the Christian is wrong, the Buddhist is wrong. It is up there. It's really up to you. I mean, in Islam said the Surah Al-Baqarah said, Alif Lam Mim, Zalikal Kitabul La Raiba Fi. This is the book. There is no doubt. It's basically for those who want to do righteous thing, and he also have faith in the unseen. No, the thing is, okay, what proof do you want to believe in the existence of God?
God itself pop in front of me and say, "Hi, I'm God. I can create human."
But that is one. I think most atheists will say that. In terms of that. How about you, really, in that sense?
I mean, or any other, like very useful signs of his existence.
What useful is that?
Where he could live and something advanced which cannot be, which is inconsistent with the rest of physics, for example. Well, there are any number of ways lah. I think there are theories, there are discussions in philosophy which says that atheists are so skeptical such that any kind of signs which are available or existing, cannot be accepted or whatever it is. But even when I was younger, I thought that a book written by God is a pretty good indicator, right? But the evidence that currently exists is just so much weaker. It's basically, depending on religion, is basically a series of things which somebody said, which was memorized by a bunch of people, and then a bunch of years later, they finally wrote it down. Or it's something which happened years and years ago, which somebody wrote, which was copied over generations by infallible copiers, over generations and generations. Like why do it in such a complicated way? If God exists, poof, bunch of words into indestructible type of material, which is inconsistent with the rest of the atomic table, If we cannot fully accept that as perfect evidence, that would already be significantly stronger than whatever evidence that currently exists, right?
Okay, if I can understand your viewpoint, like Sean says, and probably you said probably similar things. You need something tangible, something that you see, you know, or indestructible. You said flying gadget, whatever that you discuss. And say, you're probably Sean, hey, Sean, I'm God, worship me, and stuff like that, you know. Okay. That's your argument for denying God. According to Muslim, I don't know, like, I think probably in Christian, this is probably a bit similar in certain sense. But ours, like, I think there is Surah Al-Mulk. Basically, God says, of course, you don't believe in that. Basically, God says He created you for Him to test you, whether you can do the best. Even you're not seeing God yet. You know? I mean, that's a test. That's why you have to believe in the unseen. You do good. You know? So what good is God? What good is a test if you already seen God? You know? Sean, if you do anything funny, I slap you. You know? There will be thunder coming to your house. You know? You get burned. So actually, if people can see that God is there and you have to believe in a God, I mean, practically everyone will worship to the same God. Why should they risk their life, you know, for in the short life in this year, or probably something?
So
yeah.
So I want to ask one question first. Do you think
Sure.
that God knows everything?
God must knows everything. God must be very just and stuff like that. Yeah.
Right. So if God knows everything, and when He created you, He will know that what you're gonna do and what you're gonna do 10 years down the line, what you're gonna do before you die, and things like that.
Yeah.
So what's the point of the test? Since when He created you, He knows that you're what you're gonna do, right? So does He mean that He created you? So if you don't believe in Him, then He send you to hell, or you do bad, He send you to hell. So it's for what, right? That's
that's quite a good question, Sean. The way that, you know, the thing is that we cannot really understand how God works and stuff like. Of course, I know this is cliche argument. God works in mysterious way and stuff like that, you know. But the point is, Sean, no, the thing is, like, we always see things from the linear perspective, you know, from this thing to happen, you know, this thing happen, you know. The thing is that God is, of course, this is a bit hard to explain how the God works in certain sense, you know. Because to us, we believe that God is outside time, space, and matters, you know. So they're outside time. Basically, He knows what's going to happen to you. But when He tests you, is basically that is God power and knowledge and stuff like that, you know. The point is whether we can do the right thing. That's it. That's a test, you know.
Yeah. In case, then worshipping or not. So you know, like in Christianity, is whether you accept Jesus as your savior.
Yeah.
Whether or not you are a good person should have nothing to do with whether or not you accepted a specific person as your savior. So if there's a test here, and indeed, like if you know, some kind of God exists, then humanism is good enough. You know, we believe in doing good things. We believe in figuring out how to better our human lives and stuff. At the end of the day, you can be good without being in any particular religion, or is good enough with. So either way, I don't think I'm particularly worried, you know, because again, the test, why does the test have to be following X set of rituals, right? Or believing in X set of things? If indeed the test is a test of goodness, then let's just be good.
That's true. I bumped into one. I don't know whether I've shared this story or not. There is this one guy from Sweden. He's basically shaking. I picked him up in Malacca. So he shaked it's a guitar. He want to go to. I picked him in Malacca. He want to go to Cameron Highland. I thought he was to just go to the next bus stop. So I said I can only send him to KL. You know. Okay, this is a long story. So basically, you know, we had a quite discussion. I sent in until RNR in Sungai Buloh. I said just you take your whatever bus or lorry to Cameron Highland. It's basically he hitchhiked, you know, from Belgium. He go to Europe, Philippines, to Japan, go to Singapore to Malacca, and he want to hitchhike by land and go back to Denmark, which is to me is very, very inspiring. Because the first thing that I ask is, you know, of course, to all foreigners, whether how do you like our food and stuff like that, he said, oh, I don't. Yeah, have you tried our satay? So he didn't eat it. He's vegetarian. Wow, I said, why? Is this because of your religion? No, he said because by being vegetarian, it's become more sustainable. I think you believe in that it is consume more water and stuff like that. You know, this kind of, to me, if this guy is a religious people, I said, you are that high. This, you know, is superstar, I mean, in our region, because the effect that he does is basically nothing compared to impact. I said from a religious point of view is as long as you're doing moderately and stuff like that, and then, you know, stuff like that, to me, it's quite okay. And of course, we argue about God and stuff like that. It's basically atheist. So my point is really, of course, this guy, to me, if there is a guy like him, is basically the super sheikh in our religion, because he can do that. Despite whatever that he does, basically no impact to I mean, okay, he's super good guy in that sense. Of course, at the end, up to KL, I know that he's basically as a boyfriend in Turkey. So okay.
Actually, reasoning-wise, we're very similar. The one thing that can probably convert me to vegetarianism is that sustainability question that you were talking about earlier. Is the same thing. I'm currently hoping that synthetically grown meat will come soon enough before.
It's already here. It's already here, man.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, not mass produced. You know, like they approved a company in Singapore to make it or something like that. Tapi dia tak mass produce.
Yeah, not yet. No, it stands right. But my point there just now, he said, why should I do good for the sake of God? Can I just do good for the sake of doing good? Just similar like you.
Yeah.
You know, like you guys, can I just do good for the sake of doing good? So I argue in the sense that, you know, probably, of course, I argue in that the creator God, the uncreated God and stuff like that. You do good like Willie and you, Shaun. I know Shaun also very eco-friendly, very and stuff like that. You guys are good in that sense.
Just one thing real quick, sorry to interrupt, but we'll actually go a little bit further than that. It's not just that you want to do good for the sake of doing good. It's sort of like if a child is only doing the right things because he remembered what his parents told him. He doesn't know, he hasn't figured it out himself yet. It's not his own values, you know. His parents told him doing this is right or wrong and he's going to get punishment. And if he's still doing that, he's still a child. Somebody who is grown up has figured out what is right or wrong to do for themselves. They don't need somebody to still be monitoring them and telling them what is the right thing to do. So I would go so far as to say that somebody who does good because they have figured out the reasons why they are doing it is actually doing good. Somebody who's doing things because there's a objective moral value being dangled over him and somebody's telling him this is right or wrong, and you don't know why for yourself, or you still need somebody else to tell you that's not doing good.
Okay, I know, Billy, but you come into in certain sense you are judging. Let the judge, to me as a religious people, God judge that things. Whether you're doing that for whatever reason, I don't know. Indoctrination, where you're doing good for the sake of doing good, then that's okay. It's just that what I want to add is that, you know, you cannot deny the existence of God. So we say by the virtue of, you know, that we are here. You know, even there must be a creator God, just uncreated. That is, you know, that there is no form, there's no. Basically, our cornerstone of theology is like there's only one God. He's basically doesn't need of anything. He's eternal. He doesn't beget from his begotten, and it's basically there's nothing unto God. If you say that is a God, that's basically no God. You know, that you don't think that by having this one God, I think many religious people, many people can agree. Even I think atheists to a certain extent, Richard Dawkins, there must be some creator, but they just want to mention that thing as a God that created everything from nothing. Even to the best of scientists, the best that they can do just explain how jumbo jets operate now. But it doesn't mean that he can make the jumbo jet. You see, there's things still hanging. How that jumbo jets comes into being in the first place.
The current position in science is basically we don't know. That's it. That's basically the position.
Exactly. That's why you don't have any answer. Of course, we say it's easy for us just to put the label God. It's a God of the gap. It's a God do that thing. You don't have to think that sense. That is wrong. I mean, what I'm trying to say is, you know, we have heard of Pascal Wege's theory. Okay.
Very, very poor.
No, I mean that's basically more on the Christians. Sorry. That's ours is a bit different on how we see that thing. So because we have, the thing is, one, you don't know whether it's a God or God. You know, ours is very simple. Whoever that God is, the God that created us from nothing. Otherwise, I'm not here talking to you. There must be something, the higher power and stuff like that. The second thing is, what's that? I've lost my train of thought.
You're talking about Pascal's wages. Is that?
Yeah, no, we come to that. Yeah, that's the last one.
Oh.
That's basically, I think, was propagated by Christian, I think, philosophy and French.
Yeah, Pascal.
There's no God. That's probably, it's more rational because we are here. There's going to be something that created us from nothing. The moment that you ascribe anything other than that's a God, you have to prove that's a God. Even if you deny God, you must prove there is no God. You cannot prove that. So 1-0. If you, that's one. I mean, for the sake of discussion, and what is that? Okay, both of us do good. You don't do good, I do good because I think there must be something that created me, and that being asked me to do good. Okay. That comes to our objective morality in sense. Our purpose, basically, all of us in this world is basically to do good. I mean, the purpose of life or synopsis of Muslim life there is in Surah Wal-Asr. Basically, Wal-Asr is basically by time. All of humanity is basically in a state of loss. We are lost. We just where are we going? We just do whatever we are doing. Illa allazina amanu, except for those who believe. Except for those who believe in the unseen God. If the God is there, there's no need for you to believe. To have faith. It is there. Okay. Except for those who believe in the unseen thing, the heaven and hell is unseen, but you do good nonetheless. It's not only that you have faith. You said, you have to do good things like Willie and Shaun. Being vegetarian, help people, further the society. And over and above that, said, basically, not only that you pray, you fasting, you do good things, but you also have to preach for goodness. You ask people to do good things. And last thing is basically, you persevere. You be patient, you persevere in that thing until you die. So every single, in our concept of worship, our prayer, our fasting is basically taking about 10% of our time. The rest of it, we are in a constant, worshiping in the sense that we try to do good things every single second of our life. Of course, whether it's not that we go to heaven by our good deeds. It's of course by God's grace, but whatever good deeds that we can get, even the Prophet also cannot get to heaven by his action. But probably the most we can get is 20%. But as long as 20% is more than the bad deeds, we can go to heaven. That is a concept. So the Pascal's value of theory, in the sense that by people having their purpose of life is to do good things, by believing that God created me, there must be some higher power that created me. There's a thing of objective morality that in a way forces us to do good things. If there is a God really, then that comes to religious story. At least I have 50% chance of going to heaven. If there is no God, I just end up like you. I'm okay. I'll be eaten by maggot and stuff like that. It's okay. But at least have that chance, But it's not that I go to heaven by believing, but I also have to earn that thing, I have to do good things, I have to be objective and stuff like that. So in certain sense, by doing that, don't you think that indirectly I'm making this world a better place?